Hey everybody, it's Josh. Welcome back to the Landlord Harassment Channel, and today is a day of celebration. Because as I said yesterday, sorry, that's my nail clipper making noise, bouncing back and forth. As I said yesterday, today is the day where I celebrate 22 months of clean and healthy living. 22 months since I decided to change my life, change my diet, start living healthy. And as you guys know, you know the story. I've got 140 pounds off, probably more by now, but I don't know how much because I haven't checked the scale in a while. But 140 pounds off for sure. And, my diet saved my life. You guys know the whole story. That's 22 months without processed sugar. Guys, I have not consumed processed sugar even once in 22 months. I have only consumed any sort of processed food whatsoever a total of 7 times. I've had 7 cheat days in 22 months. Okay? Because I don't do cheat days by myself. The only time I don't have like scheduled cheat days. I don't need them. The only time I do cheat days is when I'm out with friends and there's like an event going on or we're celebrating something or something like that. But I won't do a cheat day by myself, I do a form of a cheat day by myself. Like if I'm celebrating something but I don't have friends with me, what I'll do is I'll make myself like some extra rice and use like a spice or a flavoring on the rice that I don't normally use or something like that. Like maybe I'll use steak flavoring, and I almost never use steak flavoring, stuff like that. But true cheat days where I'm eating some sort of processed food, that's only happened 7 times. And we are closing in on 2 years. 22 months is only 2 months away from 2 years. Now, am I proud of myself? You betcha. Am I patting myself on the back? You betcha. And I try to keep a humble attitude most of the time. But sometimes you got to pat yourself on the back for some accomplishments. You know what I'm saying? And 140 pounds off, I've talked about that enough. I won't beat that one to death too much because I've talked about that a lot in other videos. But 22 pounds without a drop of processed sugar. Not a gram of it, not a half gram of it, nothing. No processed sugar has touched these lips or this tongue in 22 months. Only natural, healthy food without preservatives and additives have touched this tongue for 22 months. 22 months is only 2 months away from 2 years, so we are closing in on 2 full years without processed sugar and of eating completely naturally and healthy. Without preservatives, without additives, without deep fried foods or any of that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm proud of myself today, and I'm patting myself on the back a little bit today. You know what I'm saying? I normally pat myself on the back in a more humble way, but today I'm beating my chest a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because so few people ever get this far. But at the same time, my work is not done. This is the diet I'm going to be on for the rest of my life. And I still have 120 more pounds to lose. So to get to my ideal weight. So I have my work cut out for me. I was also going to tell you guys that yesterday when I told you I was going to take a week off from eating snacks, meaning seeds and nuts, I changed that into a month. So it's going to be April 1st before I have any peanuts or seeds or any kind of snack food like that. So I'm going to eat meal foods only for an entire month. And I'm going to reset my system in doing that. Like I said, I've been overdoing it on the peanuts and the seeds. It's caught up with me. It's hampered my weight loss. It's messed with my system in a lot of ways. And I made the mistake of thinking that because peanuts and seeds are healthy, I can eat as many of them as I want. And that's just not true. Your body, your digestive system isn't designed to process what you would call hard foods, hard, sharp foods. And when you chew up a peanut or you chew up some seeds, they're sharp. They poke your system, and they're hard to digest, and they just cause all kinds of logistical problems on top of that. So I'm going a month without that. But now onto the Haverkamp Properties issue. People have asked me, are you sure you want an eviction on your record just in case you lose? Are you sure you're willing to live with that? And the answer to that one is yes. And here's why. I am already a convicted felon. Not only am I a convicted felon, but I am a former homeless man. I'm a convicted felon with a gang-related crime on my record, which was violent. I'm probably still on a gang list in Milwaukee somewhere. As a gang member, even though I was never technically a gang member, but that's a story for another day. But I'm still a convicted felon with a gang-related crime on my record. Even though that's over 20 years ago, that's not going away. I was also still a homeless man in the streets for over 10 years without a stable place. So I have this huge gap in housing too. And my credit is horrible. So if I get evicted, this little extra 50 points or even 100 points off my credit, it ain't going to hurt me none. But you add all this up. You've got the felony. You've got the 10-year gap in housing from when I was a homeless guy. You got, what did I just say? I'm losing my train of thought here. Felony, 10-year gap, bad credit. It's already super hard for me to find a decent apartment in a relatively safe neighborhood. That ain't going to change. This eviction, if it happens, ain't going to really hurt me any worse than I already am in that department. It's already super hard for me to find, like I said, a decent apartment in a halfway safe neighborhood. All right? So an eviction, like I said, it might add a little bit of hurt just because of how recent it is, but it ain't really going to do any more damage to me. It ain't really going to make my future apartment or housing search. For the most part, it's not going to make it any harder than it already is, because I've already got these decks stacked against me. And, especially given the fact that this eviction isn't based on anything legitimate. I'm not getting evicted because I didn't pay my rent. I've always paid my rent. I'm not getting evicted because I was violent and beat people up. I'm not getting evicted because I did damage to the apartment. I'm not getting evicted because I threatened people or I was reckless or careless or any of that stuff. I'm getting evicted for asserting my right to peace and quiet, for not letting a landlord who's obsessed with harassing me push me around. That's why I'm getting evicted. All right, so this eviction will probably be relatively easy to explain to a future landlord. Now, the other stuff is going to be harder to explain. Felony, gang-related, that stuff, 10-year gap in housing, that's the stuff that's going to be super hard to explain. But that's with me anyway. So if I lose this case, my life in my search for housing isn't going to be any harder than it already is. So I might as well stand and fight for the right thing, even if I lose, especially given the fact that I've just done absolutely nothing wrong. All I've tried to do is have some peace and quiet in my own house. That's it. That's all I tried to do. But a certain landlord, I don't even want to say her name, has decided that I don't have that right and I don't have the right to assert that right, so she messes with me any way she can. Now she's trying to have me evicted. But I got one huge advantage over Haverkamp Properties. By the way, I have not been served yet. I really expected to be served today. But at least so far, as what time is it? It's just after 2. And it's Wednesday or Thursday right now. Today's Thursday, right? Yeah, it's Thursday right now. I still have not been served, which really surprised me because I found out about this on Monday. I called Story County. I've been calling Story County's clerk of courts every day to find out, so that I wouldn't be surprised by the note on my door, right? The eviction note and stuff. And they finally told me Monday, yeah, there's this you're scheduled for March 14th eviction hearing. But I haven't been served yet. Hopefully I will get served today so I can get that out of the way. But wanted to get back to what I was saying. What was I saying? Okay, so the one huge advantage I have over Haverkamp Properties, especially in a prolonged court battle, and it will be prolonged because whether they evict me or not, I'm taking them to court in the future. One advantage that I have is that I don't have anything to lose. Like I was just talking about. It's already hard for me to find housing. Eviction ain't going to make it harder for me. And I don't have like $1 million real estate empire to protect. They can't really hurt me. They can hurt me a little bit, but like let's say I got to go back and live in the streets for a little while. It's nothing I haven't done before for years. It's not going to hurt me all that badly. I've got absolutely nothing to lose. Which is, I mean, I would like to think I would still stand up to them even if I had a lot of stuff to lose. But the fact that I got nothing to lose clears the way for me to stand up to them and to fight them. Haverkamp, on the other hand, has a lot to lose. They've got money to lose. They've got a reputation to lose. They got all kinds of stuff to lose. And when I get done saying my piece in court, there's no way Haverkamp's going to come out of that looking good. It's just not even going to be possible for him. So even if I lose the case, I'm going to give Haverkamp a hit to their reputation that's not going to be easy for them to deal with. And I'm not going to have to lie to do it. I'm not going to have to embellish or exaggerate to do it. All I'm going to have to do is tell the plain truth. But I am curious to see what they're going to say against me. You know, they seem with the eviction notices, they seem to want to say, well, you've had the police here 3 times, and which is dishonest because Brooks sent them to me to intimidate me out of my YouTube channel and so on and so forth. But I want to see how they explain the fact that I made it before Brooke took over. I was here for 7 years and never had a single police contact in that whole 7 years before Brooke Farmer started having some power around here. Like if that's going to be their argument, which is the argument on their eviction notices, you know, they seem to be trying to paint a picture that I have law enforcement here all the time, which is ridiculous. But what are they going to say when I come back with, hey, somehow I made it my entire first 7 years here without a single police contact? Not once in my first 7 years here were the police ever at Haverkamp Properties because of me. And I mean, the police are here at least 3 times a week to this day. That hasn't changed since I moved in 8 years ago. They're always here because of somebody complaining about noise, whether it's somebody's music or whatever it is. Or they're here arresting somebody with a warrant or whatever. Or people are partying and somebody smells weed or whatever the case might be, so someone calls the police. The cops are always out here for that reason, but they're never here for me. So I don't think it's going to be too easy for them to paint me as this troublemaking tenant who just has to be evicted. It's going to be interesting to see how they weave that together. And I know that they're going to have a lot of stuff that I haven't heard before. They're going to just make up a bunch of stuff and present it to the court that isn't true. So it's going to be interesting to see what they say. But still, like I said, even if I lose, I can't see Haverkamp coming out of this looking good. Me, I'm going to look the same way I always have. Some people are on my side about this. Some people say you're a former homeless guy, so I don't care about you, you know. But I'm going to come out of this looking the way I always have, not really looking better, not really looking worse. There's no way Haverkamp's going to get through this court situation without looking worse. It's just not even possible for him. So, yeah, I've made my peace with the fact that I might be evicted. But anyway, back to the positive stuff. 2 years, or not 2 years, 22 months, almost 2 years. We're 2 months away from 2 years of eating clean and healthy. Almost 2 months, or almost 22 months without a drop of processed sugar in my system. I'm happy. I'm very humbled. I'm glad the Lord has helped me to get to this point. Because it's not just my willpower, it's the Lord helping me out too. And I've never lost sight of that. Even though I don't necessarily always talk about that, I've never lost sight of the fact that the Lord himself has a big hand in my healthful turnaround. And man, my health has turned around. Like, it's like the comeback story of the year almost, man. Like, I don't know. Anyway, this video is already getting way longer than I expected. Cash App's link down below. Please show your love. Talk to you guys soon.